But yeah, I mean that's life. That's the circle of life. And speaking of circles, with our first topic of today, let's get into a little NFL news. Some of this is kind of dated news, but it's fun stuff to bring up and talk about. Let's talk about the circle of Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jay. I know you have something planned for that. Let's just get into this historic NFL quarterback and what he was able to do for the league, the impact he had on the league. And I think when you think of Ryan Fitzpatrick, you don't think of him as being an elite NFL quarterback. I don't think he ever got to a Super Bowl. Never really
I
won.
don't think so.
I don't know if he ever got to a Pro Bowl either. Never really won many accolades, but the legacy and the impact that he left on the NFL will be everlasting.
I think it all started when like everyone knew who Ryan Fitzpatrick was, and everyone knew that like he just kind of like throws it up, and he's a really tough runner. He's obviously I think he has the record of the score on the Wonderlic, and he's out of Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like the main things people know. But what they don't know, and thanks to Jim Garrity, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, from Twitter, for the Ryan Fitzpatrick cycle, which is crazy true when you really think about all of the teams that he has been on. And there is a list of them. Usually it starts this way. And you can think of this even to the point of like recently with the Buccaneers, right? He gets signed as a backup. Starter gets hurt. Jameis gets hurt. He gets thrown into the game. He plays really well and earns the starting spot. And if you remember when he was on the Buccaneers, Jameis and Ryan Fitzpatrick kept rotating of who was starting like week by week. Then he got he got well paid, and then he sucked. Gets released, and then it all happens again. And he's done this like 3 different times throughout his career. So hence the circle of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Hell of a career, a hell of a beard.
Hell of a career, hell of a beard.
And,
When did he start like making waves with that interview? Do you remember he looked like McGregor?
Oh yeah, when he was wearing Deshaun Jackson's chain, so it was on the Bucks. So that might have been in 2017 or 18, one of those years.
Oh, that was on the Bucks.
I believe it was, unless it was
Yeah.
on the Jets the year before. I'm pretty sure it was on the Bucks because he had those iconic glasses on and the big chain, and I'm pretty
Yep.
sure that was Deshaun Jackson's stuff.
Love that. But anyway, so
yeah, just
that's that.
an incredible 17-year career with, was it 8 different teams?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Just an incredible career for him. And like I said, he wasn't a quarterback that you'd remember as being, an elite quarterback, but he had some waves where he would just come in and, F shit up, and
oh yeah,
he'd beat teams. Like when he was on the Bucks, he played well, and I remember he had a couple games when he was on the Dolphins where he torched the Eagles, and only had 1 year with the Commanders. But
yeah, that was a damn shame that we never actually really got to see him starting with Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel was also hurt the whole year. That would have been kind of fun to watch. Yeah, so he played for 9 teams. He started with the Rams, then the Bengals, Bills, Titans, which I don't remember, Texans, which I also don't remember, the Jets, Buccaneers, Dolphins, and then finally the Washington football team, later named the Commanders. He threw for 34,990 yards with 223 touchdowns and 169 interceptions. Nice. Resulting in an 82.3 career passer rating. That's actually not that bad at all.
Yeah, I think it goes to show 2 things. It goes to show someone who never gave up. He wanted to stay in this league and earn his money and minutes, no matter what team he had to play for, no matter where he had to travel to. And people don't think about how like tiring that is on somebody to have to travel all over the country with their family to play for multiple different teams. It's tiring, and I feel for him. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is it just goes to show how hard it is to be a quarterback in this league. staying healthy is one thing, but just kind of finding the right fit, kind of like finding a woman. You got to find the right fit for your team, and I hope it sticks. And Fitzpatrick had a lot of ups, but he had a lot of downs, and that's kind of why he
Mhm.
bounced around from woman to woman,
Woman to
um,
woman.
team to team. But it's impressive.
You muted yourself, Shu.
Just that. Apologies. Um, it just goes to show that you got to give Fitzpatrick a lot of credit because no matter how many doubts teams might have had on him, he kept his chin high and he kept bouncing around and
Mm-hmm.
did what he had to do, even if that meant being a backup. And I know a lot of quarterbacks struggle with that, as we saw with Ryan Tannehill recently, not wanting to help out Malik Willis, but Fitzpatrick, when he went to the Dolphins, he could have, put his head low and been upset about the fact that Tua was getting time over him, but he
Mm-hmm.
mentored him and did what he had to do and didn't last long. I think he was there for 2 seasons and then he went to the Washington football team at the time, but he is
Actually, sorry. I'm just remembering this now. He was also splitting games with Tua because they
yeah.
didn't want him finishing games, right?
hmm And
That's
they were
so
they
weird.
were uh, they were pretty bad too, so it was just kind of like they were both just not playing great football.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You gotta give him a lot of credit just for sticking with it and trying to do what he loved to do every single day. And I'm sure he could still keep playing if he wanted to, but he is getting older.
Mm-hmm.
He's what 39 years old, and
I
he's
think it's
got
also the hip. Something like
Mhm.
whatever happened last year that it forced him out and he couldn't come back. I think it was like his hip.
Yeah, and
Um,
you have to be even though there are a lot of guys you could think of like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL history, who
mhm,
aren't really mobile quarterbacks, but you do have to have some mobility when you're in the pocket and
totally.
when you're injured and have a bad hip, it's hard to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Especially with a terrible team,
yeah,
better than us. But,
that's for sure. But
but
hope he has a happy retirement.